So it starts off with a dog telling Jake to hop in the pod. And I was like, nah, they're really out here trolling. Y'all don't see this man in a full-on wheelchair? She really pointed at the pod, then walked up to the computer screen as if he's just supposed to hit them Rocket League type combinations to start flying. This dude Jake can't even move his legs. How was he supposed to get out the wheelchair in the first place? Bro had to do a full-on workout just to get in that bit. Jake opens his eyes just to see that he's got that VR experience. Woke up to him being 10 feet tall with peak athleticism. Look at how he's locked in, watching his toes wiggle. Made his way outside immediately and had to fix his eyes real quick. Couldn't believe what he was seeing. She really just missed a wide open layup. Threw the ball up and that shit wasn't even on screen. They giving them LeBron jeans to straight bums. How she even missed that bad? Jake had to go for a little run, made sure his legs were working. He's smiling because he's about to go explore Pandora looking for the thotties. About to breed all of them to have them first round draft picks to the NBA. But he wakes back up from the dream life and the smile on his face instantly disappears. Bro has to go back to hopping into his wheelchair. I'd rather be 10 feet tall with a tail. He goes to see the colonel and this old man is like, I'ma need you to pretend to be one of them Pandaroons. Sir, you can't be saying that. Yeah, whatever. Just make sure you backdoor them blue monkeys and I'ma get you some new legs. They get back into their avatar bodies and they start exploring the place, dropping down in the middle of the forest. And while they're looking around, they run into a hammerhead who's just messing up the environment and getting ready to charge at him. But the doc is like, just hold your ground. And he runs at it and they get scared. The hammerhead must be one of them online thugs that be typing behind their screens in the comfort of their own home. Bro got pressed by someone who's like 4,000 pounds lighter than him. I started backing up, but I realized that Rod Wave wasn't scared of Jake. It was looking in the back, seeing the Thanator crawling up out of the darkness. Equipped that silent takedown. The Thanator saw how easy it was and said, hold up. Let me see how long it takes before his dumbass realizes that I'm right behind him. But when Jake turns around, it jumps over him and goes towards the hammerheads. And they start talking, telling the Thanator to start doing the math. Lil bro must have dropped out or something. Cause there's at least 5 hammerheads with the same body shape as DJ Khaled. And over there, I'm seeing only 3 blue niggas. The Thanator looked back. Oh, you're right, that's a mismatch. Started chasing them down, making sure Jake was the first one he clipped. Jake dives into a tree, trying to evade all of its attacks. And finally decides to use the guns in his hands. Started spraying. Them bullets better do some, if not he's food. And he's not even aiming for real. The Thanator moved to the side, and this man was aiming at trees, just wasting bullets. The Thanator felt bad for bro, took it out his hands. You were wasting ammo anyways. Runs him down, and got the slow-mo chase down tackle, made him eat the dirt. He just got put into the Thanator's highlight reel. He better stay there and take a nap. He's cooked. But Jake is trying to crawl away, reaching out for help. But the cameraman is more worried about the footage. Jake signed the contract before coming on this expedition. He was so worried about trying to get some new legs, he ain't even read the fine print. It says that you're on your own. He out there reaching out, talking about some help. And we all turning our heads, wondering who around here has that name. Anyone here has the name Help? Ain't no nigga named Help. The Thanator snatches him by the bag, and he had to unclip himself to gain some distance, and manages to escape by jumping down into the water. So now the 2 other ones that were with him before he was getting attacked made sure to wait until it got dark and stayed in a helicopter above ground. They're saying it's to get a better view, but really, they ain't want to go on the ground anywhere near that Thanator. Hey, what if you can't see him because he's hiding under a rock? Shit, that ain't my problem. And proceeded to leave. He gon' figure it out. And we see him in the dead of night struggling, getting jumped by these creatures. Smacked one, then poked the other in its neck and dropped the fire. He tried to burn some. He might be related to Magic Johnson. Takes out the knife and ends one's life. But he's really getting worked by some chihuahuas. This little one makes him trip. Got both his legs hitting a 90-degree angle. Completely misses the swing. He must have been swatting away flies. He not serious. And used his Tims to punt it back. Man couldn't even get up. Sat right back down. They were really trying to convince me that Jake was a Marine. Must have been fighting Nemo or some shit. They gave him an avatar with a 99 overall and he's getting beat up by these little niggas. This man must be the worst Marine of all time. It's trying to bite his head off. So Neytiri decides to intervene, shooting one, and starts to show out. Slow-mo shot to slap one away. Does some extra move to give this one CTE and proceeds to get tackled away. Stabs it twice, and while she's dealing with all of them, I need y'all to pay attention to Jake in the back. This man starts beating one of them. And even when she scares them all away, this man gonna stand up, look in her direction, then turn back his head and pretend like he's getting ready to fight. This man ain't about that life. She showed up and took care of 20 of them while he was over there in the back punching up the same one the whole time. Matter of fact, we can't even see which one he's fighting for real. For all we know, it could be the same one she shot with a bow and arrow. Jake could be over there throwing straight haymakers at the dead one. He's just trying to look tough for the shorties. Niggas be doing anything for the huzz. Anyway, she tries to help him, but they get jumped and bring him back to their people. He meets the chief and his wife, who's the spiritual leader of the clan, and they're deciding whether or not they should kill Jake. And their son over here, whose name I shall not try to pronounce because I might end up sounding racist, but trying to get Jake put in a coffin. Bro's worried about the wrong thing. He needs to put his barber in the grave first. Took the word avatar too seriously. Walked into the barbershop and asked for the black version of whatever Aang has. Them sky-top dreads, DDG and Kaisadet must have put him on. But I'm here to tell you, keep that atrocious cut away from me, please. So they decided the best course of action is to let a random dude be a part of their clan and learn their ways. And the next time Jake wakes up, he's getting slapped. His head shook and slapped again, and tells everyone that he's infiltrated the blue people. But they needed better Bluetooth connection with their avatars, so they made their way up to the mountains and used the pods they had up there. We skip forward and Jake has now learned how to be like one of the people on Pandora, and it's time for him to go to the dealership and get himself a new whip. Tsu'tey sees this man struggling to breathe and is like, yeah, Jake, you go first. Left this man no time to recover. He walks up and looks around the corner and started smirking. This must be how them Atlanta niggas feel. When they see a parking lot full of Hellcats, they gon' steal one. Neytiri is chatting in his ear and he's not listening to a word she's saying. He's just trying to figure out which color he wants to pick out from the lot. He saw one that was green and blue. He needed that one. But he must have forgot to take a shower that morning because he jumped down and it flew away. So he said, what about this blue one over here? But it wanted nothing to do with his ass. And that's when he found out one, wrangled it up and started wrestling. Got smacked in the head, thrown off and has to climb back up. He then manages to tame it and takes it for a spin. And he starts flying every day, just enjoying the view from above. Until one day, it's getting dark kinda early, so he looks up and he's seeing his life flash before his eyes. I thought it was the bat signal. Jake did kill some little animals before. Batman gonna walk out from the shadows and turn him into a soup. But it was this creature trying to chomp him down, chasing them through the forest to the point that they had to get to hiding. And they call this creature the Last Shadow. So it's been like 2 weeks, so Jake goes back to see the colonel. Nephew, where is the info on them panda riggers? Started grabbing his shoulder. Jake don't got the heart to tell him that he ain't racist anymore. He found himself a wife. She knows how to cook and listens to reggae. He not even sure what the American flag looks like anymore. Look, sir, after the ceremony, it's wraps. I'ma get them to relocate to a different spot. Bro got up immediately and started looking at him disappointed. Relocation? Don't that mean that they get a new home and they stay alive? Jake must not understand the script. The colonel wants them gone. Boomed. He's doing this for the love of the game. But he gets accepted into their clan and gets freaky with Neytiri. Wasted no time. And when they wake back up, he's seeing them bulldozing the area. And he's trying to stop them. But it's not working. So he makes his way up on top and starts smacking the cameras with a rock before getting shot at. So he has to dip out. And when they look back at the footage, they hit a freeze frame. Said, oh no!
I know that ain't who I think it is.
That's Jake. And at that same time, bro with the egregious cut is walking up bobbing his head like a chicken, pushing Jake to the ground. You got freaky with this woman? Everyone was baffled. Tsu'tey tried to stab him and Jake put out a knife, realized that he was tripping and threw it away and started blaming the sky people. He thinks he's slick. We know you're one of them, bro. Tsu'tey went in and cut him and Jake couldn't take that disrespect. Blocked the arm, hit his chin. He's looking to the side with his eyes closed. Need in the gut and say hi to the fist. Got him on all fours. Jake started giving his victory speech. And look at this man in the back. Bro just got his ass beat and is trying to stand there looking cold. He knows that if Jake takes the flicks, he's gonna be in the background. But the colonel gets to them and wakes them out of their avatars. What is wrong with you? Put him right back to sleep. And started showing him the evidence. Man got a girl and all of a sudden he's one of them blue people. The doc started talking about trees and memories and some other BS, saying that they can negotiate and live with the people of this world. The colonel had to play some more footage. This you? And it's a video of Jake saying that there ain't no way that they can possibly negotiate. And that's all they needed to see. They getting clipped. Jake and the doc managed to beg the boss for an hour to try to do some about the people so that they can somehow stay alive during all this. Got over there and started snitching on himself, saying that he was planted there to be a spy. His girl started looking at him crazy. What you mean? Started screaming in his face. Get away from me, colonizer. and they tied him up as a traitor. Jake had to close his eyes. They can't be this dumb. The colonel pulls up drinking a cup of coffee. Man has been waiting for this opportunity since they got here. They so focused on defending their tree, and I'm seeing thousands of other trees in the background. It's not like they need the money. They don't even have to deal with paying taxes. They being greedy for some rocks. They're really down there trying to take down the airships with bow and arrows. This is like having Hawkeye's useless ass on the Avengers. They just be letting anyone on the team. The spiritual leader sees that the tree is getting burned down and decided to free Jake and the doc so that they can help them. But shit, ain't really much to do. The tree is gone. This girl in the back is making the same face as me. They should have just moved down the street to the other green tree. But time's up, so they're gonna wake them back up. But Norm wasn't having it. Made this man look at his own ass. He's holding his mouth about to cry before waking them up from the pod, throwing them in jail. Trudy wasn't a fan of mass murder, so she decided to break them out. Pulls out her gun like yeah, laid him down and put him to sleep. To then break them out and runs towards the chopper. The colonel saw that and took this man's gun, kicked down the door, and started shooting. And when the bullets ran out, he switched to a handgun. He's out there squinting, just hoping one of them bullets do some damage. Even forgot to put on a mask to be able to breathe. Nah, he a menace. But one of them bullets really did some damage. It hit the dock. So now things are just getting bad. Jake is getting desperate. So he gets the idea to become a legend and attempt to tame the last shadow. Took it by surprise, got the high ground and jumped on top of it. And made sure to pull up on them in style. Jumped down and walked through the crowd. And the glazing was insane. They letting him walk through the crowd, afraid to even touch him. Even Neytiri was glazing. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just scared. I ain't mean to leave your body in the forest to rot for real. She saw that he came back with some aura. And all of a sudden, she forgot about the fact that he was a traitor. Even Tsu'tey started gulping. He's shivering in his boots. Placed his hand on his chest. You got it, biggest bro. Yeah, it was crazy. They proceed to try and save the dog who got shot. But it didn't work. And she ends up meeting Michael Jackson. But now, it's time to fight. He gathers up all the clans and they get ready to defend Pandora. He dives down out the sky to grab a heli and tosses it into a mountain, while his bro snipes another one with an arrow, and they all start jumping helicopters. The colonel is looking outside, seeing his men get boomed. He's looking at his pilot in disbelief. We fighting cavemen? How are we losing? The ground troops started blasting at the ones charging at them, turning a couple of them into Swiss cheese. And you see how all of them have bow and arrows? This one right here was unfortunate and got sniped. One the first of his people to taste lead. While Norm is out there fully clothed, holding a machine gun, claiming he's helping. Whole time he's sleeping in his pod, safe from danger, and is the only one with a proper weapon. He's trolling. Jake uses last shadow to snatch another heli and throws it at another one. Had this man crawling and screaming in despair, looking like he's taking back shots, and blows it up. But they're out there getting worked. Norm fell off his ride and started to skedaddle. Ain't wanna get shot. It was looking so bad out there. Tsu'tey had to try and take it into his own hands. Told production to start playing the sad music and the cameraman to get them slow-mo shots. It's time for him to take the spotlight. Jumped up into the sky, hitting one of them off-brand Jordan logos. Shot one of them out the screen. Hit a clean roll to then grab this fool and threw him backstage. He really deserves this though. He saw a 10-foot blue man jump towards him and still missed every shot from point blank range. And Tsu'tey wanted to make sure his KD was immaculate. Took his big elbow and gave this man a head injury, falling over head first with both his feet in the air. Grabbed this dude by the collar. He didn't even bother holding up his gun. Just accepted his fate, turned him into an IG reel, threw him off to his doom. Then said, call me Oprah, you get CTE, you get CTE, you get CTE. And launched to go skydiving without a parachute. And folded another one in two. Until one finally realized that the gun ain't jammed. He can pull the trigger. Started spraying. And sent Tsu'tey rolling out and falling down out the sky onto his back. And after all those heroics, we see Norm being the most dramatic person ever. Got shot in his arm and is pretending to sleep. Why is he even out in the field? Trudy is out here getting wiped off the map. While Norm is rolling out his pod perfectly fine, holding his chest hyperventilating. All these theatrics. But the animals of Pandora decide they wanted to fight too. Some hammerheads show up to wreak havoc, flipping them over in their metal suits. And I have to give credit to this guy though. He slapped one away, but then got ran over. It was a massacre out there. You ain't catching me getting trampled on like this in 4K. Jake jumps down onto the enemy ship and got up real close. Can't miss those. Took a grenade and sent to the wing of the ship to blow up and take it down. Then tried it again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Jumped down onto the colonel's ship and got ready to blow it up. but the Colonel changed trajectory, threw him off balance to a miss, but a part of the ship still blows up. Jake is hanging on and rips off one of the missiles, sees the perfect spot to throw it and cause some damage, but right when he's about to hit the fadeaway 3 to win the game, the Colonel pops out from the woodworks and tries to shoot him, making him lose his balance. But he must have had a heat check. He makes a shot anyways, blowing up the ship, causing it to crash down. Jake falls to the ground, smiling, seeing what he's just accomplished. But the Colonel made sure to get the wallpaper moment. Jumped out of the ship with the metal suit and landed with finesse. With the explosion behind him, you already know he was thinking of every slur in the book. He's walking in first person, seeing the enemy base where Jake is sleeping, and is showing nothing but straight teeth. Jake is about to see the pearly gates. I heard MLK is hosting a seminar. But you see that movement in the background. That's another Sneak Nation first round draft pick. Neytiri tamed the Thanator and is jumping to take him down. Then tries again but gets thrown off. But third time's the charm, knocking him over onto his back. And wanted to disarm the Colonel. Took his weapon and started smashing it. Breaks it in half and catches a mean left. The Thanator is trying to shake it off, while Neytiri has to duck under the grab, trying to press the Colonel but gets hugged. This is how it be with them relatives you haven't seen in years. Talking about some, they changed your diapers. Why was a stranger changing my diapers? Pushing them back and throwing him into a tree. And all that time and space gave him the opportunity to take out a knife. Got that XL version too. I know the Colonel specifically asked for this. Heard he was fighting blue giants and wanted the biggest pocket knife ever created. They jump at him and he makes sure to make it hurt. That's free XP. Throwing them off to the side and using that crazy vert to end the Thanator, and even twisted the knife, placing his hand on its neck. Sleep, my child. And made eye contact with Neytiri. I would have been looking in another direction, but he rips out the knife and is getting ready to end her, until Jake decides to intervene. This Travis Hunter ass nigga. He picks up a weapon, blocks the attack, dodges the next, and gets sent back. He was really out there just hoping for the best. No type of plan, just block and weave, until the knife got stuck in his weapon. You can't see his face, but I know for a fact he's surprised right now. This is his chance. Breaks the knife and hits the Mario jump to get the aerial attack. The Colonel was in there frightened. Oh no! Let's call a truce, big bro. Just pass me the minerals and we'll leave you alone. But instead, he takes out the weapon, holding his breath, not to inhale the toxic air, and throws it at Jake. The Colonel was in there trying to see around the cracks. Imagine if Rod Wave was standing in front of you during a soccer game. It's the same thing. He can't see. Decides to just disregard the whole thing and pop on the mask. Jake takes out a knife and the Colonel ain't want a box no more. He's getting too old to be trying to keep up with these young bulls. Started trying to talk some sense into Jake, talking about his race. Really? He's just out there sounding like Joe Biden.
We got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
But he breaks through the lab and opens up the pod and sees that it's empty. Jake had to jump on him to distract him. And bro, imagine he ain't turned his head. That's a dinosaur tooth to the cranium. But he throws Jake off of him, making him roll. And at the same time, the air from outside is entering his pod, preventing him from breathing. So he's losing connection with his avatar, waking back up to him getting grabbed by the ponytail, screaming in pain. The Colonel takes out the knife the size of his whole torso, and right when he's about to slice him, Neytiri sends an arrow to his chest and made sure to hit him with a second one, putting him on his knees, and then to lay him out on the dirt.